I expected to win today and move on. And that's what my focus was on. That's what my focus has been on. We failed. I failed.
Well, Jaylen Brown, you absolutely got that right. You did fail. You had 8 turnovers in a Game 7. You went 1 for 9 from the three-point arc and a grand total of 8 for 28 from the field. Jaylen, that is what I do call a failure. Now, the question is, will Jaylen Brown be back with the Boston Celtics next season? Or should the Celtics refuse to pay that $295 million supermax that they could actually be on the hook for? That is a 5-year deal. I went ahead and I did the math. That comes out to $59 million a year. Just a crazy number. But I tell you what, let's go back to the post-game Jaylen Brown press conference.
Obviously, you mentioned about the future you guys have ahead. This summer, you have some decisions to make in terms of an extension. Boston that gets offered. What is kind of your mindset about that this summer, and what is your expectation for how that'll play out?
Say that again.
Oh my God, Jaylen, you have to pay attention. Let's try it again.
In terms of the possibility of you getting an extension this summer, especially after making All-NBA, what is kind of your thought process going into the summer, and how do you expect it to play out?
You guys, what's my thought process?
This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's see if you can finally answer the question.
I really don't. I don't even really know how to answer that question right now, to be honest. My thought process is, take it one day at a time. Focus on, getting better. Focus on, what the future holds, and see where we are from there. I guess I don't really know how to answer that.
Talk about a bunch of sports cliches, Jaylen Brown. You nailed some of the most popular questions on Jeopardy with that one. Look, does Jaylen Brown in any way look like a player that wants to remain with the Boston Celtics? Look, if you had $295 million on the table, wouldn't you say the right things if you wanted to remain a member of that organization? I'm just asking. Clearly, Jaylen Brown most likely, in my opinion, wants to leave Boston. Now, the question is, where would his $295 million supermax actually make sense? Now, a couple of those places, Atlanta is where he's from. The New York Knicks certainly have enough talent. And of course, Jalen Brunson is on a very friendly, team-friendly, my dad works at the organization contract. Then, of course, there is the place that probably makes the most sense, where he could be reunited with his former head coach and the Houston Rockets, who certainly have enough young talent to make things interesting for the Boston Celtics. Now, the question is, do the Celtics want to move on from Jaylen Brown? And more importantly, should they want to move on from Jaylen Brown? Now, after the performance that we saw, where he was having trouble dribbling in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. To recap, he had 8 turnovers in that game and quite frankly didn't really play all that well in most of the games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Is that really a player you want to rely on again for the next 5 years? Jaylen Brown has been a member of the Boston Celtics for the past 7 years. Jason Tatum joined him a year into his career. They've had 6 years of the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown experiment. And I hate to say this, but sometimes 2 pieces just don't go together. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into the House of Takes. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the show. I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.